I was working the front desk at a boutique hotel in Copenhagen when an American couple checked in around midnight. Standard procedure in Denmark. I asked for their passports, scanned them, and explained breakfast starts at 7. The husband interrupted me. "We're gold members with Marriott. What's our upgrade?" I explained this wasn't a Marriott property. He pulled out his phone and showed me his Bonvoy app. "I have over 200,000 points. I'm practically VIP status everywhere." I told him again, "We're an independent hotel." His wife chimed in. "In America, loyalty programs are honored across hotels. It's professional courtesy." I explained that's not how independent hotels work in any country. He asked if I understood customer service. I'd been working in hospitality for 11 years. He demanded to speak to the owner about implementing proper American business standards. The owner was asleep. It was midnight. They took the standard room but left a 1-star review saying we refuse to acknowledge international loyalty status. We've never been part of any chain. Last month, a different American asked if Denmark was near Amsterdam. When I said they're different countries, he insisted his Uber app showed it was only 320 kilometers. He wanted to Uber there for lunch. And that was just Tuesday. I worked as a server at a cafe in Utrecht for 2 years before this interaction made me question everything. It was a quiet Wednesday afternoon when an American family of 4 sat down. Normal start. I brought menus and water. The father immediately asked where the kids' menu was. I explained we don't have a separate kids' menu, but children order smaller portions of regular items at reduced prices. He looked confused. Every restaurant in America has a kids' menu. It's standard. He asked for the manager. My manager came over, repeated exactly what I'd said. The American asked if our cafe was certified for family dining. My manager had no idea what that meant. He explained that in America, family restaurants have specific certifications. He asked if we'd been inspected by health services recently. We had been, 3 weeks prior, perfect score. Then he asked why we didn't have high chairs. We had 3 high chairs. They were visible from where he was sitting. He asked why they weren't at the table already. I explained we bring them when families arrive. He said in America, family-friendly restaurants have them ready. His wife added that our service was below American standards because we made them ask. When I brought their food 20 minutes later, he asked why it took so long. I explained everything's made fresh. He said in America, family restaurants serve food within 10 minutes. He suggested we optimize our systems like American chains do. The bill came to €42. He left a €3 tip and wrote on the receipt, "Service needs improvement. Would be fired in America." I'd been Employee of the Month twice. He posted a review saying we were unprepared for families. We've been serving families for 15 years. Working at a pharmacy in Stockholm taught me that some people need to be exceptional at everything, including being sick. An American man approached my counter on a Thursday morning. He said he needed Adderall. I explained that Adderall isn't available in Sweden without going through our psychiatric system. He said he had a prescription from Florida. I told him American prescriptions aren't valid in Sweden. He looked genuinely shocked. But it's a prescription. It's a medical document. I explained that prescriptions are country-specific due to different regulations. He asked why Sweden wouldn't honor American medical decisions. I told him it's about jurisdiction and pharmaceutical law. He said his psychiatrist in Miami is one of the top doctors in America, and asked if I was questioning her expertise. I wasn't. I was explaining Swedish law. He pulled out his phone and showed me his prescription bottle. "See? It's official." I explained that didn't change Swedish regulations. He asked if there was a way to expedite the process, because he was only in Stockholm for a week. I told him he'd need to see a Swedish psychiatrist, get evaluated, and potentially get prescribed our local equivalent, which could take weeks. He asked how much it would cost to skip the wait. I explained you can't pay to circumvent medical regulations. Then he asked if I could just give him enough for a week and he'd pay out of pocket. I explained that would be illegal. He said in America, pharmacies have some discretion for emergency situations. He asked if I was actually a licensed pharmacist. I showed him my credentials on the wall. He studied them, then asked if Swedish pharmacy school was as rigorous as American programs. He left and went to 2 other pharmacies. I know because they called me. He eventually left Sweden without his medication. He posted online that Sweden's healthcare system is decades behind America because they don't have basic pharmaceutical flexibility. Our healthcare system ranks among the best in the world. I taught English at a language school in Prague for 3 years. A 19-year-old American named Tyler enrolled in our intermediate Czech course. First day, he showed up 20 minutes late. He said he'd gotten lost. Reasonable. Second day, 15 minutes late. Third day, 25 minutes late. I explained our lateness policy. He said in America, professors are more flexible about adjustment periods. I explained that he was the international student here. Week 3, he missed an entire class. No email, no message. Next day, he showed up and said he'd slept through his alarm. I told him he needed to email in advance. He said his American university didn't require that. He asked if I could email his home university to explain the cultural differences so it wouldn't affect his transcript. Mid-semester, we had oral examinations. 5-minute conversations in Czech about daily routines. Tyler spoke for 90 seconds, mixing English and Czech. I gave him a C-. He came to my office and said this was the lowest grade he'd ever received. I told him he didn't meet the minimum requirements. He said he'd tried his best and that should count for something. He said in his American schools, teachers valued the journey of learning over perfect performance. I told him that at intermediate level we expected actual proficiency, not just effort. He asked if I could raise his grade because failing would hurt his GPA. I explained grades reflect performance. He said he'd never failed anything before. I told him C- is passing. He said anything below AB is failing in his program. His parents emailed me. They explained Tyler had always excelled and this grade was uncharacteristic of his abilities. They asked about extra credit opportunities. I explained we don't offer extra credit. They suggested I didn't understand American educational expectations. Tyler finished with a C+. He left a review saying I was unsupportive of international students. 12 Czech students rated the course 4.8 out of 5. I work as a tour guide in Berlin, specializing in Cold War history. An American couple in their 50s joined my tour last September. 20 minutes in, we're at the Berlin Wall Memorial, and I'm explaining how the wall divided the city from 1961 to 1989. The husband interrupts, "So this is where Reagan stood when he said, 'Tear down this wall?'" I explained that Reagan gave that speech at the Brandenburg Gate, about 2 kilometers away. He insisted he'd seen footage of Reagan at this exact wall. I told him the wall stretched 155 kilometers around West Berlin. He said he remembered it clearly. His wife showed me a photo on her phone. It was at the Brandenburg Gate. He studied the photo, then said, "Well, they must have moved the wall." I explained they didn't move the wall. Parts remain as memorials. He asked why Berlin didn't just keep the wall in one piece for tourists. I told him it was torn down because it was a symbol of oppression, not built as a future tourist attraction. Then he asked which side of Berlin we were on. I explained Berlin was reunified in 1990. He asked, "Yeah, but originally which side?" I told him formerly East Berlin. He looked around at the modern buildings. This can't be East Berlin. East Germany was communist. It should look different. I explained that 33 years of reunification transformed the Eastern District. He said he'd expected to see more evidence of communism. His wife asked if East Berlin was still poorer than West Berlin. I explained that while some disparities remain, the differences aren't as stark as the 90s. She said in America, she'd heard East Germany never recovered. I told her Germany is one of the world's leading economies. He asked why Germany didn't just use American economic models to rebuild the East faster. At the end, he asked if I thought Germany would ever be as powerful as it was before the war. I asked which war. He said World War II. I carefully explained that modern Germany's power comes from economic strength and diplomatic influence, not military might. He said in America, they learned Germany was basically rebuilt by the Marshall Plan. I told him the Marshall Plan helped, but Germans did the actual rebuilding. He left a review saying I seemed defensive about Germany's past. I have a master's degree in European history. I'm from Berlin. My friend works at a family restaurant in Lyon. An American businessman came in for dinner on a Tuesday evening. He ordered the prefix menu, seemed pleasant. The bill came to €50. He paid with a credit card and left a €10 tip. Generous by French standards where service is included. My friend thanked him. He said, in America, I'd tip 20%, but I adjusted for local standards. He called her back. Did you see the tip I left? She confirmed she had. He asked if she understood that he'd tipped 20%. She said yes, very generous. He seemed unsatisfied. He asked if she was going to tell the chef. She said she could, but it wasn't necessary. He insisted. She went to the kitchen, mentioned it to the chef, and came back. He asked what the chef said. She told him the chef said thank you. He asked if the chef was going to come out. She explained the chef was busy with other orders. He said in American restaurants, when customers leave significant tips, the chef usually comes out. He said he wanted his generosity properly recognized. She offered to write a note. He declined. He said he'd wait. He sat there for 20 minutes, watching the kitchen door. The chef finally came out to check on another table. The American flagged him down. Excuse me, I left a significant tip for your server. I wanted to make sure you knew you have excellent staff. The chef thanked him and tried to move on. The American stopped him. In America, I run a sales team, so I understand recognizing top performers. Your server provided exceptional service. The chef thanked him again. The American asked if they have an employee recognition program. The chef said they didn't. The American suggested they implement one, like American restaurants do. The chef politely explained that in France, all staff are paid proper wages, and tips are appreciated but not used as performance metric. The American said that seemed like missing an opportunity for motivation. He handed the chef his business card and said if they ever wanted to optimize their service culture, he'd be happy to consult. After the American left, the chef threw the card away. My friend said the €10 tip was nice, but the 20-minute validation session kind of canceled it out. And somewhere right now, another American is explaining to a confused Norwegian why their Costco membership should work at a local grocery store.